Have you ever heard of a place so remote? Even Google Maps seems unsure where to drop the pin? Well, that place exists. It's called Timor-Leste. Now here's the real question. If paradise had wings, what would it look like? Would it be a burst of emerald feathers or a tiny sunbird flashing gold under the island sun? Stick around, because by the end of this video, you'll have your answer. Picture this, a forgotten island between Indonesia and Australia, where time moves slow and every sound in the jungle feels like nature tuning its own orchestra. And the stars of that orchestra? 15 rare bird species you won't find anywhere else on Earth. From the shimmering Nicobar pigeon to the flashy black-capped kingfisher that looks like it's late for a fashion show. These birds aren't just rare, they're living artwork. So take a breath, grab your curiosity, and maybe your coffee, because we're about to fly straight into Timor-Leste's hidden paradise, where every wing beat hides a story, and one mystery question waiting for you at the end. Now tell me, you ready to find out what paradise really sounds like? What if I told you the world's most glamorous pigeon lives on a tiny forgotten island, wears metallic feathers, and might be the last living echo of the dodo? Yeah, not your average park pigeon begging for crumbs, huh? The Nicobar pigeon looks like it belongs on a fantasy movie poster. Long, shimmering feathers that glow green, bronze, and violet when the sunlight hits. It's like Mother Nature took one look at the gray city pigeon and said, nope, let's try that again, but make it fabulous. You won't find this bird strutting through New York or San Francisco. It lives across remote tropical islands of Southeast Asia, including the untouched corners of Timor-Leste. There it moves like a slow, confident celebrity, cooing softly while the jungle hums in the background. And when it takes flight, it sounds like a fan blade slicing through the air. Seriously, people say you can hear its wings before you even see it. Here's the part that blows most people's minds. Scientists say the Nicobar pigeon is the closest living relative of the extinct dodo bird. That means every time you see this bird gliding over the islands, you're literally looking at a living time capsule. Evolution kept one branch of that weird, clumsy dodo family tree alive. Only this cousin is stylish, fit, and still thriving. For now. And another fun fact, this bird swallows small pebbles to grind its food inside its stomach. It doesn't have teeth, so it basically carries its own portable blender wherever it goes. I mean, who needs kitchen gadgets when evolution already gave you a rock-powered smoothie maker? But here's where the story turns. Despite its glittering beauty, the Nicobar pigeon is quietly disappearing. Deforestation, hunting, even illegal pet trade, humans, as usual, can't resist turning something rare into a souvenir. They're being trapped, their nesting islands shrinking. Every year, there are fewer metallic flashes in those tropical skies. So here's the real question. If the dodo vanished because no one cared until it was too late, are we repeating the same story, just with better cameras and hashtags? Imagine seeing the shimmering bird in the wild, wings catching the sun, a living relic of evolution. Would you take the perfect photo, or would you just stand there silent and let the last whisper of the dodo glide right past you? What's the first thing that pops into your mind when you hear kingfisher? A small, cute bird by the river, right? Well, let me introduce you to the black-capped kingfisher, the loud, colorful show-off who clearly didn't get the blend-in memo. This bird looks like it was painted by a kid with too many crayons. Electric blue wings, a snow-white chest, and a deep, glossy black cap that makes it look like it's wearing a biker helmet. And that beak, bright red, long, and sharp enough to make sushi out of a crab in seconds. Seriously, if birds had personalities, this one's the drama queen of the wetlands. You can find it perched perfectly still on a branch, staring into the water like a sniper with feathers. Then boom, a lightning-fast dive, a splash, and it's already back up with dinner, wriggling in its beak before you even blink. It doesn't fish politely, it hunts with style, like it knows there's an audience. And let's be honest, we'd all watch. Here's something wild. Despite its bright colors, this bird is a stealth hunter. It can sit motionless for several minutes, waiting for just the right ripple before striking. That patience, Olympic level. And when it's not hunting, it makes these crackling, laughing calls that sound like it's gossiping about you from the trees. Nature's version of a stand-up comic, if you ask me. Now for two fun facts that'll stick with you. First, the black-capped kingfisher doesn't just eat fish. Oh no, this bird's menu includes frogs, insects, and even tiny snakes. Talk about a bold palate. Second, unlike most of its flashy cousins, it prefers coastal mangroves and open woodlands, meaning it's a bridge between land and sea. It's like the bird version of a surfer who occasionally hunts in the forest just for fun. But here's the twist. Despite its swagger, this kingfisher's home is shrinking fast. Mangrove destruction and pollution are slowly taking away its throne. The colors are still there, but the silence between calls is getting longer. So let me ask you this. If you spotted this brilliant blue hunter perched against a sunset, Would you snap a photo and scroll on? Or would you stop long enough to listen to that laugh echoing through the trees before the sound fades forever? You ever see a bird so bright, it looks like someone accidentally left the saturation slider on max? That's the black-naped oriole, a bird that refuses to be subtle. Its whole body shines in neon yellow, like a flying highlighter soaring through the jungle canopy. And right across its head, a sharp black stripe runs from eye to eye, like a superhero mask or a rock star's eyeliner. Locals in Timor-Leste call it the sunbird of the forest, and honestly, it fits. When this bird lands on a branch, everything around it seems to light up. Even the shadows look jealous. But don't let that sunny color fool you. It's got attitude. This oriole is loud, dramatic, and very territorial. If another bird dares to cross into its space, it'll start a shouting match that echoes through the whole forest. It's like the jungle's own talk show host yelling, "This is my tree, buddy." Here's a fun fact most people don't know. The black-naped oriole can mimic the calls of other birds, even tricking them into thinking a predator's nearby. It's basically the prankster of the avian world. And another one, its bright yellow feathers aren't just for show. They actually help it camouflage among sunlit leaves. Turns out being flashy is its version of blending in. Nature's irony, right? If you ever visit Timor-Leste early in the morning, you'll hear this bird before you see it. Its flute-like song floats through the humid air, soft but confident. And once you finally spot it, you can't look away. It's like the forest itself decided to sing. But here's the part that hits home. These orioles rely on dense forest canopies for nesting, and as those trees vanish, so do their songs. Deforestation isn't just about losing trees, it's about silencing voices we'll never hear again. One by one, the jungle's melodies are being turned down. So here's my challenge for you. If you had to pick, would you rather live in a world full of noise and people, or one quiet morning where a single golden bird sings just for you? What if I told you there's a bird that hunts bees for breakfast, and still looks like it just came out of a Pixar movie? Meet the rainbow bee eater, the bird that makes danger look fabulous. It's small, sleek, and covered in colors that don't seem real. Turquoise, emerald, orange, gold, and that perfect black eye stripe that says, "Yeah, I sting back." Metaphorically, when sunlight hits its feathers, it glows like a prism with wings. Imagine a hummingbird, a peacock, and a daredevil all rolled into one. That's our little rainbow assassin. And yes, it actually eats bees. Not one or two, entire buzzing buffets of them. But here's the twist. Before swallowing, it smacks the bee against a branch to disarm the stinger. That's right, it neutralizes venom like a pro chef preparing sushi. Talk about dinner with precision. The rainbow bee eater doesn't just hunt, it performs. You'll see it soaring in graceful arcs, twisting midair, then diving for prey with perfect aim. It's the Cirque du Soleil of the bird world. And while we humans worry about our next caffeine fix, this little creature spends its mornings catching sunlight and bees. Two things that can sting if you're not careful. Fun fact 1, these birds migrate across thousands of miles from Australia up to Timor-Leste and beyond, chasing warm air and insects. It's like a tropical road trip with wings. Fun fact 2, they nest underground. Yeah, underground. They dig tunnels in sandy banks for their eggs, keeping them cool and safe. So not only are they fearless, they're engineers too. But here's where it gets interesting. Bee eaters rely on insects that thrive in clean air and unpolluted land. So every time you spot one, it's not just pretty, it's a sign the ecosystem is still healthy. You could say the rainbow bee eater is nature's little green checkmark. Now imagine this. You're standing on a warm Timor-Leste morning, and a flash of turquoise cuts through the air, wings sparkling like sun on the sea. Would you grab your phone to film it, or just let it pass, knowing you just witnessed one of Earth's smallest, boldest miracles? Because here's the thing, if even a bee eater can live in balance with stingers and storms, what's stopping us from doing the same? Okay, picture this. You're walking along a quiet coast in Timor-Leste. The air smells like salt and wet leaves, and suddenly, a flash of turquoise blue slices through the mangroves like lightning. That's the collared kingfisher, the local troublemaker with feathers. It's got that perfect island look, white chest, sea blue wings, and a bold turquoise collar that makes it look like it's wearing a Hawaiian shirt to work. This bird doesn't just live by the coast, it owns it. Perched on driftwood or fishing poles, it sits there like, yeah, I run this beach. But don't be fooled by the calm pose. When it spots prey, small crabs, insects, or even lizards, it becomes a blue missile. A quick whoosh, a splash, and dinner's done. And yes, it smacks its food against a branch before swallowing, just to make sure it's tender. You could call it the Gordon Ramsay of the mangroves, minus the yelling. Well, mostly. Here's something cool. This bird isn't picky about real estate. It nests anywhere. Tree holes, sandy banks, even termite mounds. Imagine explaining to a termite colony that your new roommate has a beak. Fun fact number 1. Despite its beach bum vibes, the collared kingfisher can live deep inland too. It's found in farms, forests, and even city parks if there's enough open space to hunt. Fun fact number 2, its call, oh, you'll hear it before you see it. A loud cackling kick, kick, kick that sounds like a parrot laughing at your sunscreen. But here's the twist. As mangrove forests shrink, so does its kingdom. Fewer trees mean fewer nesting spots. Fewer fish mean more empty perches. You'd think a bird this adaptable could survive anything, but even the boldest colors can fade when the water turns gray. Still, the collared kingfisher doesn't seem to care. It sits there, chest puffed, beak tilted up like a movie hero staring into the sunset. Defiant, bright, alive. Maybe that's the secret of this bird. Don't wait for perfect conditions, just shine where you are. So here's my question to you. If life threw you into a storm, would you panic? Or would you laugh like the kingfisher and dive right in anyway? You know that feeling when you watch something so graceful, it almost doesn't seem real? That's exactly what it's like seeing a Pacific swallow in flight. A flash of copper and blue cutting across the Timor-Leste sky like a brushstroke of light. They're small, sleek, and fast. Tiny aerial acrobats that never seem to run out of energy. You can find them gliding above rivers, rice fields, and coastal cliffs, chasing invisible trails of insects. It's like watching joy itself on autopilot. And the best part? They always fly in pairs. It's as if they made a lifelong pact. You catch the left, I'll take the right. Here's the thing. These swallows don't just live in motion. They depend on it. They feed, flirt, and even sing while flying. Their whole life is built around the sky. Can you imagine that? Never landing for long, never staying in one place. That's freedom, or maybe restlessness. Depends on how you look at it. Fun fact 1. The Pacific swallow doesn't migrate long distances like its northern cousins. Instead, it's a homebody, choosing to stay year-round in warm tropical air. Kind of like that friend who moves to Hawaii and never comes back. Fun fact 2, it builds its nest out of mud and straw, usually right under bridges or on cliffs, tiny clay bowls that somehow survive storms. Its architecture meets survival, one mud ball at a time. But here's something worth thinking about. As cities grow and skies fill with smog, these birds lose their hunting grounds. The clearer the air, the more they thrive. So when a Pacific swallow darts past you in perfect blue sky, it's not just pretty. It's proof the air is still worth breathing. And just when you think they're fragile, you notice something. These tiny birds cross open oceans, facing winds that would ground most aircraft. They're not just pretty flyers, they're endurance champions in miniature. So let me ask you this. In a world that's always rushing, always landing somewhere new, who do you think's got it figured out? Us, always chasing more ground, or the swallow, chasing nothing but air and light? You ever walk into a quiet forest and feel like someone's watching you, but in a calm, spiritual way? That's the emerald dove. It doesn't shout for attention. It doesn't flash across the sky. It just appears, softly, silently, like a secret whispered by the jungle itself. Now don't let that name fool you. This isn't your average pigeon with a green paint job. The emerald dove glows. Its feathers shimmer like polished jade, deep and cool, shifting from emerald to bronze depending on the light. When the sun filters through the canopy, it looks like a living gemstone walking through shadow. And yes, it walks, because unlike most doves, this one loves strolling along the forest floor, picking seeds and fruits with slow, royal confidence. It's got that I own this forest kind of grace. Fun fact 1, in many parts of Asia, the emerald dove is seen as a symbol of peace and long life. Its calm, unhurried movements have earned it the nickname, the forest monk. And it fits. This bird doesn't waste energy. No drama, no rush, just presence. Fun fact 2, unlike most tropical birds that flock, emerald doves are loners. They prefer the quiet life, solo flights, quiet meals, no noise. Basically, if the bird world had introverts, this one would be their poster child. But here's where the story takes a turn. Their emerald feathers make them prized targets for illegal pet trade and hunting. Can you believe that? Something so peaceful, caught and caged for its beauty. It's like framing a sunrise in glass and wondering why it loses its glow. Every bird taken means one less shimmer in the forest light. Still, the emerald dove doesn't complain. It adapts, survives, and finds new corners of forest to call home. It doesn't need to be seen to exist. Maybe that's the quiet lesson it offers us. That real beauty doesn't scream for attention. It hums in silence and waits for those patient enough to notice. So here's my question for you. If peace itself walked past you, dressed in green and gold, would you recognize it? Or would you scroll past looking for something louder, flashier, and miss the quiet miracle right at your feet? You ever meet that one neighbor who's always cheerful, always singing, no matter what's happening around them? That's the yellow-vented bulbul, the happy-go-lucky bird of Timor-Leste. It's small, scruffy, and bursting with energy, hopping from branch to branch like it just had 3 espressos and a good night's sleep. You'll spot it almost anywhere. Gardens, coconut groves, city edges, even on power lines near the beach. It's one of those birds that seems to say, "Hey, life's good, let's sing about it." And sing it does. A bubbly, chatty tune that sounds like laughter mixed with a flute. They're not professional singers like nightingales, but they sure bring good vibes to the neighborhood. Here's the funny part. This bird looks pretty ordinary at first glance. Brown back, white belly, until it turns around and flashes a surprise. Right under the tail, bright yellow feathers, a pop of sunshine in disguise. It's like nature gave it a built-in exclamation mark. Modest in front, party in the back. Fun fact 1, the yellow-vented bulbul is one of the few birds that actually benefits from urban life. It's adaptable, curious, and not afraid to share space with humans. You build a garden, they'll move in rent-free. Fun fact 2, they're the forest's best gardeners. By eating fruits and berries, then spreading seeds across miles, they help regrow the very forest they live in. You could call them the eco-delivery service of the tropics. No subscription required. But here's where things get interesting. Their population is stable now, but it's not guaranteed. As cities expand, chemical pesticides and loss of green spaces could cut their food sources fast. They may be cheerful, but even the happiest birds can't sing in silence. Still, every morning in Timor-Leste, when the sun stretches over the hills, you'll hear that familiar, optimistic chatter. No schedule, no stress, just joy, pure and simple. And maybe that's the secret the bulbul knows. You don't need to be exotic to be extraordinary. Sometimes just showing up and singing is enough. So let me ask you, in your own neighborhood, who's louder? The noise of life or the little voice that reminds you to smile at sunrise? You know that one person who's tiny, charming, and somehow steals every spotlight without even trying? That's the olive-backed sunbird, the pocket-sized showstopper of Timor-Leste. It weighs less than a teaspoon of sugar, but good luck ignoring it once it shows up. From a distance, it looks like just another small bird hopping among flowers. But then the sunlight hits, and bam, its throat flashes deep metallic blue. Its back glows olive green, and for a moment, you're staring at a living jewel. It's like nature said, I can make a hummingbird, but smaller, sassier, and with better lighting. You'll usually find them sipping nectar from hibiscus, banana flowers, and any bloom that dares to open. They hover, dart, and hang upside down like acrobats chasing sweetness. And the best part? They make this high-pitched, squeaky chatter that sounds like laughter and fast forward. If birds could giggle, this one definitely would. Fun fact 1, the olive-backed sunbird is a master engineer. The female builds a hanging nest shaped like a teardrop, woven from grass, cobwebs, and even bits of plastic she scavenges. It dangles from branches like a little hammock, lightweight, cozy, and built to swing in the wind. Fun fact 2, these sunbirds are loyal. They often return to the same nesting spot year after year, like a couple rebooking their favorite summer Airbnb. But there's a twist to their bright little world. As cities spread and flowering plants vanish, these nectar hunters are losing their buffet. No flowers, no feast. And guess what else vanishes with them? The quiet pollination dance that keeps tropical gardens alive. Turns out, even the tiniest creatures play the biggest roles. Still, the olive-backed sunbird doesn't seem worried. It just keeps singing, fluttering, and chasing color wherever it finds it. It's as if it's saying, if there's no garden, I'll find one. Or make one that's confidence we could all use. So here's my question for you. If you could live your life like the sunbird, light, fearless, chasing sweetness wherever it blooms, would you? Or would you stay grounded, waiting for life to plant flowers for you? You ever meet someone who's so full of life, they make every room brighter the moment they walk in? That's the common Eora, the life of the tropical forest party. It may be small, but it's got the personality of a Broadway singer trapped in a lemon yellow body. This bird is sunshine and feathers, olive green on top, yellow underneath, with white streaks that flash when it moves. And it moves a lot. The Eora is never still. It hops, twitches, flutters, and sings like it's trying to audition for a musical only other birds can hear. If you're ever near a forest in Timor-Leste, just stop and listen. You'll hear it before you see it. A sweet whistling pee-pee-pee echoing through the leaves like laughter. Now don't let that cheerful tune fool you. This bird's got drama. The male Eora changes color during breeding season. Its feathers darken into rich black and gold, as if it's putting on a tuxedo just to impress the ladies. Fun fact 1, male Eoras don't just sing for love, they perform. They puff up, spread their wings, and do a little sky dance, spiraling upward before dropping like confetti. Talk about a bird with flair. Fun fact 2. The common Eora is an expert mimic. It borrows tunes from other birds, mixes them into its own melody, and somehow makes it sound better. So yeah, you could call it the DJ of the jungle. Here's where it gets interesting. Despite its cheerful vibe, this bird plays a serious role in the ecosystem, eating insects that harm fruit trees and crops. It's basically the farmer's invisible helper, pest control with wings. But like so many others, it's facing shrinking forests and noise pollution that drown out its song. And if the forests go quiet, what happens to the rhythm of life that depends on them? Still, the Eora keeps singing. Every dawn, every tree, every chance it gets. It sings like it believes the world's still listening. And maybe that's the magic of it. Joy that refuses to fade no matter what. So here's a thought for you. If your world started losing its color, would you sit in silence? Or would you sing louder, like the Eora, just to prove the light's still there? Have you ever seen a creature so elegant it almost looks unreal? Like something out of a dream that forgot it wasn't supposed to exist? That's the Blith's paradise flycatcher, the bird that makes gravity look optional. Imagine a long, flowing tail, thin as silk and twice as graceful, streaming behind a sleek bird the color of chocolate, ash, and moonlight. When it moves, that tail trails behind like a ribbon caught in the wind. It doesn't fly, it floats. And when sunlight hits those feathers, the entire forest seems to pause. Now don't let that beauty fool you. This bird is a hunter, an artist of the air. It darts, twists, and spins mid-flight to snatch insects right out of the sky. You could say it paints invisible patterns in the air, one swoop at a time. If the rainbow bee-eater is a performer, the paradise flycatcher is the dancer. Effortless, elegant, and just a little bit mysterious. Here's fun fact number 1. Males and females look totally different. The males grow that famous long tail during breeding season, like nature's version of a tuxedo, while females stay modest, focusing on the real work, nest building and parenting. Fun fact number 2, this bird's call is a soft, liquid chee-wee, almost like a flute played underwater. If you ever hear it echoing through the canopy, you'll swear you're listening to a lullaby from another world. But here's where the story tilts. For all its beauty, the Blith's paradise flycatcher depends on old forests, the kind with tall trees, deep shade, and untouched silence. And those forests, they're shrinking fast. Timber, farming, roads, every new path we build chips away a piece of paradise. And when paradise shrinks, even the birds that carry its name start to fade. Still, there's something timeless about this one. It never stops dancing, never stops moving. As if it knows standing still means disappearing. Maybe that's the lesson it brings us. Keep moving, keep creating beauty, even when the world around you is falling apart. So tell me, if you had wings like silk and the world's chaos below you, would you land or would you keep flying, just to remind the sky what grace looks like? What's shiny, loud, and moves in flocks big enough to turn the sky into a mirror? Meet the metallic starling, the bird that looks like it was dipped in oil and polished by starlight. At first glance, you might mistake it for a simple blackbird. Then the sun hits, and bam, its feathers explode into flashes of green, purple, and bronze, like liquid metal in motion. It's the kind of shimmer you can't look away from, half bird, half disco ball. And when hundreds of them take off together, the air literally glitters. You don't just see them, you feel them. Here's what makes them special. They live in huge colonies, thousands strong, building nests that hang like tangled chandeliers from tall forest trees. Each nest is a woven globe of vines, twigs, and grass. Dozens of them clustered together, swinging in the wind. It's noisy, chaotic, alive, like the bird version of Times Square at rush hour. And yet somehow it works. They protect each other, raise their young together, and call out in metallic chirps that sound almost electric. Fun fact 1, the metallic starling's eyes are a vivid crimson red, fiery little marbles glowing from their glossy heads. Those eyes help them spot fruit from high up in the canopy. And guess what? They don't just eat fruit, they plant forests. Their droppings scatter seeds across miles of jungle, making them one of nature's most underrated gardeners. Fun fact 2, these birds migrate in enormous groups that can stretch for kilometers. From Australia to Timor-Leste and back, they move like shimmering storm clouds. Thousands of wings flashing at once. It's a migration so mesmerizing, local fishermen once thought it was a sky river made of light. But there's a twist in their story. These birds depend on tall, old-growth trees for their nesting colonies. And as logging increases, those trees are disappearing. You take down one big tree and an entire bird city collapses. A single chainsaw can silence 1,000 wings. Still, the metallic starling doesn't fade quietly. It adapts, it rebuilds, it keeps shining. As if saying, you can dim the forest, but you can't stop the light. So let me ask you, If you were one voice in a crowd of 1,000, would you still sing your song, knowing it's the sound that keeps the forest alive? You ever meet someone who just can't sit still? Always moving, always talking, always performing? That's the Malaysian pied fantail, the tiny bird with a big personality and even bigger energy. It's the kind of bird that wakes up every morning like, all right, world, let's make some noise. Small, black and white, and endlessly restless. This bird gets its name from that fan-shaped tail it flashes around like a prop in a Broadway show. When it spreads out those feathers and dances through the air, you can almost hear the music playing. It doesn't fly in straight lines. It twirls, zigzags, and pirouettes like it's auditioning for Bird Idol. If the forest had a comedian, this would be it. The fantail doesn't hunt quietly either. It chases insects mid-air, darting through sunlight with the precision of a tiny fighter jet. Every flick of its tail helps it balance and turn faster, like a steering wheel made of feathers. And yes, it'll do this right in front of you, almost like it's showing off. This bird doesn't believe in modesty. Fun fact 1, the Malaysian pied fantail has a secret talent. It uses its tail dance to herd insects out of hiding. By fanning and flicking, it startles bugs into flight, then swoops in for the catch. Talk about strategy and showmanship in one move. Fun fact 2, these birds are incredible parents. Both the male and female build a nest, a tiny cup of grass, fiber, and spider webs, and take turns feeding the chicks. It's a full-on family project, teamwork with wings. But here's the twist. As forests get cleared and insects decline, these lively entertainers are losing their stage. Their favorite low branches and shaded airspace are disappearing, replaced by heat and silence. Imagine a world without that fluttering fan, without that comic relief between the solemn songs of other birds. It'd be like taking laughter out of nature's soundtrack. Still, the fantail keeps going. Rain or shine, it flips its tail, sings its tune, and hunts the air with flair. It's fearless, joyful, and unapologetically alive. Maybe that's why people love it. It reminds us that joy doesn't have to be quiet to be beautiful. So here's my question. In a world where everyone's trying to stand out, do you play it safe and stay still? Or do you open your wings and dance like no one's watching? If loyalty had wings, it would probably look like the white-breasted wood swallow. A bird that believes in teamwork, family, and a good group cuddle. Yeah, that's right. These little gray and white fluff balls literally huddle together in groups at night, side by side on tree branches, wings wrapped around each other like a feathery blanket. It's adorable, and honestly, kind of goals. They've got smooth, slate gray backs, snow white chests, and bright blue beaks that stand out against the tropical light. You'll see them in Timor-Leste perched on power lines, scanning the horizon like tiny sky patrols. When they take off, they fly fast, tight, and synchronized. Almost military in precision, but with the charm of a family road trip. They're not just flying, they're flying together. Here's what makes them amazing. Wood swallows are some of the most social birds in Southeast Asia. They live, hunt, and raise their young as a unit. No loners here. If one finds a good perch, the others follow. If one chick needs warmth, everyone piles in. It's a little chaotic, but it works. Fun fact 1, the white-breasted wood swallow isn't actually a swallow. It just looks like one. In fact, it's closer related to crows, which means that adorable little bird up there gossiping on a power line might have a surprising amount of attitude in its DNA. Fun fact 2, these birds love soaring. They can stay aloft for hours catching insects midair while gliding in lazy circles. They don't need to flap constantly. They just ride the wind, smooth and effortless, like they know something about life balance we don't. But here's the twist. The very trees and open skies they depend on are shrinking. Urban sprawl, pesticides, and vanishing insects are pushing them higher, farther, thinner. The flock still flies, but sometimes it flies through silence. And that silence? It's louder than their calls ever were. Still, the wood swallow doesn't quit. At dusk, you'll still see them lining the wires in a perfect row, shoulder to shoulder, like a tiny choir waiting for the stars. Maybe they're not just resting. Maybe they're reminding us that no matter how stormy the sky gets, you're never really alone if you've got your flock. So here's my question. If life's wind got rough, would you fly solo and risk the fall? Or scoot a little closer and share your branch till morning? If mystery had feathers, it would look a lot like the Lesser Coucal, a bird that doesn't sing much, doesn't fly far, and doesn't care what anyone thinks. It's the shadow of the rice fields, the quiet watcher in the reeds, and probably the one bird that could teach us all about the art of low-key living. You won't spot it right away. It moves slow, slipping between tall grasses like a ghost in a brown cloak. Then suddenly, a flash of copper wings breaks the green, gone again before your eyes catch up. The cocal doesn't rush, it waits. It's patient, calculated, almost cat-like in the way it stalks. Some birds chase the spotlight. This one hides behind the curtain and still steals the show. It's got glossy black plumage on top, rich chestnut wings, and those deep red eyes that stare right through you. People used to call it the rain crow because its low, booming call often echoes just before a storm, almost like nature's own weather forecast. Farmers say when the coucal calls, you close the windows and grab the laundry. And here's a fun fact. Unlike most cuckoos, this bird isn't lazy. The lesser coucal actually builds its own nest and raises its own chicks. No freeloading here. Another fun fact, it can climb like a squirrel. Those strong legs and curved claws let it scramble through tall reeds instead of flying over them. Why fly when you can sneak? But here's where it gets deep. For centuries, the coucal has been both respected and feared. In some cultures, its feathers were used in rituals to protect homes or bring rain. In others, it was seen as an omen, a messenger between worlds. And maybe that's why it fascinates people so much. It's not pretty in the rainbow bird way. It's beautiful in the way shadows are beautiful. Quiet, subtle, impossible to ignore once you see them move. But like many birds on this island, its habitat is shrinking. The tall grasslands and wetlands it depends on are disappearing, replaced by fields and cities. Each storm brings less thunder and fewer coucals calling before the rain. So here's the thought I'll leave you with. If every bird has a voice and we only listen to the loud, colorful ones, what happens to the quiet ones that keep the rhythm of nature steady in the background? Do we lose them first, or do we lose a piece of ourselves when we stop listening? So there it is, 15 wings of wonder, 15 stories written across the skies of a tiny island most of the world's never heard of. From the shining Nicobar Pigeon, carrying the ghost of the Dodo, to the quiet Lesser Coucal, whispering before the rain. Each one is proof that Timor-Leste isn't just a place on the map. It's a living heartbeat of evolution, still pulsing in color, song, and flight. You know what's wild? Most of these birds don't care who's watching. They don't sing for applause or pose for photos. They just are. They exist because the world still has corners wild enough to hold them. But here's the twist. Those corners are shrinking, faster than we think. And when the trees fall and the skies go quiet, it's not just birds we lose. It's stories. It's wonder. It's the sound of what alive really means. So maybe the real question isn't which bird is your favorite. Maybe it's which one will still be there when we look again in 20 years. Because paradise isn't a place. It's a choice. To protect, to notice, to listen before it's gone. If you made it this far, I've got a little challenge for you. Next time you step outside, wherever you are, look up, listen. Because even the smallest flutter might be a miracle trying to get your attention. Now tell me in the comments, which bird from Timor-Leste's hidden paradise stole your heart? And which one do you think we should fight hardest to keep flying?